Welcome back. Now, if you still haven't heard enough of me talking about linear phase EQ, now we're going to quickly cover the partner plugin to the one that we just spent a long time talking about, and that's this one here, the linear phase low band version. So as you can see, this one's just got 3 bands. Now they're all identical in terms of specification. They've got 5 filter types: a bell, resonant low shelf, variable slope low shelf, resonant high pass, variable slope high pass. And as you can see, all 3 of these have the same pop-up. So they're identical in that respect. In terms of range, this bottom band here goes all the way down to 11 cycles and up to 600. But these 2 bands here only go down as low as 32 up to 600 and again 32 up to 600. So I'll just go back to a full reset there. So if you've got a bottom end problem with your track, this is the plugin to go for, because the other iteration of the linear phase EQ only has that single low band, whereas this one's got the 3 and more control within each one. So a little tip here, what I absolutely love this plugin for is using its variable slope high pass here. And I'll pick a number down here, maybe 40, 50 Hertz, depending on the type of track. But as mentioned before with the stepping, have a look at this. That's on 32 now. Now the next step up from that, 43. Now it is quite a significant jump from there to there. The next one's in the 50s, 54, then 65, then 75. So as you can see, the steps are quite broad. So you pick what suits the specific track, but let's go down to, say, the closest thing. I'll say 40 Hertz, and it gives me 43. We'll turn this fella on, and we can make it very, very steep, as we were saying before. So that is quite a steep drop off for down at 40 cycles. So I'll just play now. Now I'll wind it up. And there's that dropping out again, as I said. So you can hear the differences. But what I do love about this is that because of its linear phase nature, it's totally clean and transparent at that point. So if you've got a track that's got a little bit of mud down there that's just eating up bandwidth and not doing anything beneficial, you can set this guy down at 40 or 50 even, 54. Now 54 is probably a little high depending on the type of music. You wouldn't do that for most styles that have a bit of low-end information going. But say even the 40 I had up before, that's a pretty safe bet. Not too many tracks have really meaningful information down below that. And really you are capturing right down to the 43 literally here, and then a very steep roll off. So you're pretty safe setting it there for a lot of things, unless there's really deep stuff going on in the track. And obviously on things like film soundtracks and so on, you wouldn't dare do such a thing. But even in those cases, you can still go down there and set it to 22 and have really nice rejection against detrimental subs. Now these other bands are just the same sort of approach that we discussed with the previous version of the plugin. So a bell, nothing new to report there, and the same, resonant type shelves that we were discussing before. So we'll put that on 30 so we can see, and we can try both ends of that. So exactly the same thing as we discussed before, just all the processing power focusing on the low band for those sorts of problems. So we've now covered the EQ products in this bundle, and next up we're heading into the dynamics world.